Hi, and welcome to my legal case comparison. The two cases I have chosen are the Ontario College of Teachers versus Bruni, dated on October 7th, 2016, and Ontario College of Teachers versus Miranda, dated October 24th, 2017. I chose to look at these two cases because the majority of cases I found were those of harm or abuse to the students. I wanted to look at these cases because it makes our duties of being a teacher more real. That hurting a student is not the only way that you could get yourself into trouble as a teacher. It is important for pre-service and new teachers to truly understand what it means to be OCT certified and all that is encompassing. Rosa Bruni, who was employed by the York Region District School Board in 2003, began teaching French in 2010. In May 2011, she was given her TPA, or Teacher Performance Appraisal, and received an overall unsatisfactory. The reasons that she was given for this unsatisfactory rating were a lack of instructional strategies that effectively enhance and support student learning, ineffective methods of engaging students, a lack of differentiated instruction to address individual learning styles, a need for effective descriptive feedback to students on a regular basis, a lack of programs in place to support students with individual education plans. Bruni pled guilty to the allegation of incompetence, that she had displayed a lack of knowledge, skill, or judgment, or disregard for the welfare of a student, or a nature of extent that demonstrates that her certificate should be made subject to terms, conditions, or limitations as defined in subsection 33 of the Ontario College of Teachers Act. Following the first appraisal, there was an improvement plan put into place. There was a second TPA completed in November of 2011, which resulted in another unsatisfactory rating. Following the second TPA, an improvement plan was yet again put into place for her. The member's third TPA was completed in June of 2012, where she received another overall unsatisfactory. Bruni pled guilty to the allegation of incompetence, and there was a joint submission on the penalty. The committee determined that prior to commencing or returning back to a teaching position, that she needs to complete an additional qualification course or an additional basic qualification course, which covers curriculum, lesson planning, instructional strategies, and assessment of student learning, with hopes that this will help the member acquire the necessary skills to improve her practice and will remind her of the competencies expected of her as a teacher. This will also address the member's teaching deficiencies and hopefully will serve to rehabilitate the member. The committee also found that this member should have, in her first 2 years back in her school, that she should have a TPA each year to monitor her performance level. The second case of Miranda versus OCT is a teacher that was asked to create an IEP for students days before EQAO testing. She knew that this was not proper procedure, and after discussing with her principal, he told her to do it. She did not follow the IEP resource guide while developing these IEPs. She also did not consult with students' parents. She did not consult with the students' homeroom teachers. She did not share the IEPs with the students and their parents. And she did not use the accommodations during usual class assessments. The committee determined that she is guilty of professional misconduct. She failed to maintain the standards of profession contrary to Ontario Regulation 437-97, subsection 1(5). She failed to comply with the Education Act, Chapter E2, and specifically subsection 264(1). The member committed acts that breached Ontario Regulation 437-97, 1.18, and the member engaged in conduct unbecoming, contrary to Ontario Regulation 437-97, subsection 119. The committee acknowledged that the member was complying with the instructions given by her supervisors, and that she did not think that non-compliant IEPs that she had developed would be valid. Miranda breached the standards of the profession, and her misconduct needed to be addressed. The committee therefore accepted a penalty that was jointly proposed by the parties. The findings of these two cases show evidence of unprofessionalism by both of these teachers. This is significant to me as an educator because according to our professional standards of practice and ethical framework, as teachers we need to give instruction and assessment that is supporting student learning. Differentiated instruction and UDL are critical in our programming, and we need to be implementing the accommodations and modifications laid out in a student's IEP. Bruni failed to do these things. In Miranda's case, she fraudulently created IEPs under the direction of her principal, even though she knew that this wasn't the common practice and she knew it wasn't right. She failed to uphold her integrity as an OCT. As a new teacher, it is important to me because we all want to please our administration, but we also need to know what we do has consequences, even if we were directed by our supervisor to do it. In this case, she probably should have contacted her union for more advice on this matter. She also should have followed proper IEP protocol to ensure she was upholding her duty as a professional.